Mm, You know I'm L man. You're catching me on a very rare day, and I'm with someone who's very delightful, as someone else said, and I will agree with him. Gary Morgenstein, he's a playwright and author of several books, including A Dugout to Peace, which just debuted, his third final novel of his dystopian baseball trilogy. There's A Mound Over Hell, there's Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Are we noticing a theme here? Baseball. Gary, welcome to the show. Thank you for being on. It came for the radio.
Thank you so much. I'm delighted to be back on again.
So, get right into it. Now, you published a dystopian novel set in winter 2099, A Dugout to Peace. What the heck is this novel all about? I said a movie. Maybe it will be a movie.
Oh, well, from your mouth to God's ears, as my grandmother used to say. It begins, there's three books: A Mound Over Hell, A Fastball for Freedom, and A Dugout to Peace. And it begins in 2098 after America and the West have lost World War III to the Islamic Empire. Not too timely, of course, not at all. And so America's surrounded, democracy is dead. The country is run by an enigmatic organization called the Family, which is based on friendship and relationships and love. And the leader is grandma. And into all this is baseball, discredited, disgraced, associated with the failed America, which people consider at fault for getting America into this disastrous situation. And baseball is about to start its final season ever at Amazon Stadium. You viewers can try to figure out what stadium that might have once been. Down to two teams. It's crowds are like 20 people.
Mhm.
The out of shape players have holograms portraying them. There are robot umpires. Baseball's in
Wow.
the toilet, and the main
Huh.
character, Puppy Nedick, who's a baseball historian, so he has a very short lifespan in his career. He celebrates his birthday, too much bourbon, wakes up the next morning, and there's a smelly old guy sleeping on the floor. And he's like, oh, really? This is what I need. And the guy, he says, who are you? He says, I'm Mickey Mantle. He says, no, really? Not what I need. I'm losing my job. And a few days later, this courtly Southern gentleman shows up who says he's Ty Cobb.
Mhm.
Puppy's like, oh, really? And then from the future, baseball's future, comes the Shohei Ohtani, a woman, Mushi
Huh.
Lopez, who's a social activist and a singer and one of the greatest switch hitters of all time. And baseball begins an odyssey and becomes the center of resistance to the authoritarian
Ooh.
nanny state.
Wow, wow. Well said. You're a great speaker. I told you I had a fever before we started. I'm having a hard time. Oh my goodness. But I love listening to you. Maybe the audience won't like me. Oh well. Now, why did you feel compelled to write about this topic?
Well, I'll tell you how the sausage is made. This is May 2015. My wife and I are having Sunday breakfast at Everything Bagel with Schmears, and we're listening to the Beatles, and the idea pops into my head. It just, the door opens, and it
Oh,
comes, people come in. I don't know if, you could all
I know about
discuss and
that.
debate where, yeah, how it happens, who's doing it, but
Hmm.
whatever, it happens. And the
Hmm.
idea came that what about baseball's final season ever? America's lost World War III, and grandma's running the country. And I just took it from there. And what I wanted to do, when you write, the big thing about writing dystopian fiction, okay, it's not meant to be predictive. I'm not saying
Okay.
this is going to happen. I really hope that America doesn't lose World War III, okay, and
Yeah. Mm.
that Washington and Los Angeles are not nuked, and Manhattan isn't hit by a chemical attack, and we lose 17 million people. I really, really don't want that to happen. But with
Right. You could lose one or
dystopian,
two in New York City, though.
yeah,
I will say
yeah, a
that.
little. I can think of like maybe six or seven, here in Brooklyn. But you want it. The reader should see how it might happen, and you could see
Mhm.
currently how democracy could die. You
Yeah.
could see how religion could be banned. You could see how patriotism could be banned. One of the good things, and I hope you might disagree in you and your audience, but social media is
Mhm.
outlawed under the anti-narcissism laws.
Yes, that's written in, yes, that's okay, let's go right to that.
Yeah.
So, can you talk about that, the anti-narcissism laws, and why did you feel compelled to write about that? And I actually just listened to probably, maybe 17 hours of several pages about, personality disorders and narcissism from psychologists. No,
Yeah.
not 17, probably 40 hours of psychological stuff that's meant for doctors only. So yeah, I'm fascinated by narcissism. So let's talk about that.
Well, I think, again, the society in the future, and you have to make the laws, the rules of your
Mhm.
world, predicated on the world you created then. Okay, so there's never any mention of anything that happening now.
I see.
So it's not like it's against, Mark Zuckerberg or Elon Musk's great grandchildren. It's not.
Right.
It's not
Right,
like
right,
that.
right. Yeah, so guys, don't get mad at Gary, okay?
No, no. I mean, you could get mad at me. I'm used to that.
Oh,
But it's the society is based on real relationships,
I
and
see.
in the future, you must have real relationships. And I don't want to shock everyone out there,
Oh,
but the
yeah.
1,000 friends on Facebook are really not your friends.
Right.
So it's something. So there's no influences. There's
Mm,
individual responsibility in the society. You actually
love
have to
that.
think for yourself. TikTok, that whole concept is alien.
Yeah.
There's no critics, movie critics, book critics. There's no one telling you what to do or leading the way. It's all on you, which is kind of it's an amalgam of liberal, conservative, whatever you want. I don't even think about it at that point.
Right. Right. I mean, you can't divide the world into liberal, conservative, and you can't divide the world into good or bad, as the world isn't good or bad. We can't just qualify things as good or bad. Anyway, so I just came back from seeing my grandma, as you know, because we talked before the show a little bit. My 99-year-old grandma, I haven't seen her in a week. I almost started crying the second I saw her. Oh my goodness. So in your book, Grandma is in charge. Now, why Grandma?
I'm not really sure. It just grandma came to me. It was because it's a benevolent society. It's
Mm,
totalitarian. It's all consensus. There's really no freedom of speech. You're encouraged to act on your own, but the irony is it's got to be within all the rules.
okay.
So there's a whole different system of government. But grandma has the pleasant face. Grandma has certain powers that people are not really sure about, that no
That's
one really
true.
knows. Yeah, no one really knows exactly where she came from, but she took
Wow.
America from the depths of losing a war, the gut punch.
True. Yes, I
Um,
did.
yes, and
That's
to
true.
America. Yes, and so
Grandma's
she's
here right now.
yes. Well, grandmas can do it. Yes, yes.
Grandma could do it. And the truth is, I'm Grandma Lucille. Sorry, Jennifer's over there somewhere putzing around in the kitchen or something. So Grandma Lucille's, I just want to let you know, the face doesn't change, but the energy comes in. So, sweetheart, so my daughter was checking you out before the show. She's listened to your stuff and she heard some guys say you were delightful. And the truth is, you're right. Grandma does run the show, and no one has any freaking idea where the heck I came from because I'm so freaking original and they're like, "Where you from? You're not of this earth. How did you get here? How did you get all these powers?" So it's true. You're right. No one does understand the grandma, but yes, I'm in
Yes,
charge. I'm in charge.
yes. So that's what. So I thought that was a perfect figurehead.
Yeah.
And she's the true power. And what grandma wants to do is bring real peace to the world. And so she tries to reach out to dissident elements in the Islamic Empire, like the Grand Mufti's son, who is against his father's policies, and to forge, to say, all right, we might not be friends, but maybe we could live in peace and not always under the shadow of another war. But there are people on both sides who would be very happy for another world war. And into this comes baseball and the main characters, because at the end of the day, it's about the characters.
Mhm.
They set off on a story which they create. If you start worrying about creating plots, you're in
Okay.
trouble. The characters make the
Okay.
plots. It's
Right.
their experiences, their courage, their failures, their flaws, their sheer determination, and so ordinary people become extraordinary people who ultimately save the world.
Right, and that's what we can do anyway, and I love that I know this is a fictional novel, is it? But no, it is a
Most
fictional
of it, yeah.
novel, but there's a lot of things that I feel like I would wanna happen, not, the blowing up of things, but people working together, and I say this all the time, so I said it this week, I've said it the week before, I've always envisioned in the future I've had 2 psychics, I haven't lived till 96, and I want to hire only people I know and work with people I know and recommend people I know and have real relationships the way I see with my dad who lives down the street, and he's friendly with people in the neighborhood, and he's a dentist, and people say, "Oh, you're a dentist, and I'm a landscaper, and we work together," and no, it's not a compound, but I was shown how you can work together with people who know the right things, and you can really develop change. You can have a compound of homes or something. There's so many things you can do when we work together. So I love that you did that. And now back to you after my
Well,
tirade.
no, to that, because that's a great
Oh,
point.
okay.
Because as we're artists, and
Hmm.
holding up a mirror to society, we've been doing that for thousands of years. Okay, that's our
Hmm.
job. We're the
Hmm.
other because we're a
Hmm.
little off. perhaps variations on how much off we all are, but
Say I'm an outlier.
yeah,
I'm
right,
not off. I'm
exactly.
actually very on. I'm just here's the norm. Here's I'm an outlier.
Aren't we all?
Outliers.
Yeah, I mean,
But I'm
you
on, man. Even with a
that's right.
fever, I'm on.
Yes. So I think, but it's easy nowadays to simply point fingers and say this is
Hmm.
wrong. We've got to
Hmm.
do better than that. We've got to
Yes.
show a way forward. We've got to show through the darkness there's a light,
Hmm.
and that's the hard part. It's not being squeaky, icky. Oh, everyone's gonna hold hands and dance in a circle. It's
Right.
not going to be like that. But to show that there's a way, and in the novels, it comes through faith. I'm not talking about religious faith, but faith in ourselves and each other's, and
Right.
friendship. And by the end, when the world has gone through this, very scary dystopian violence, and it's filled with hatred on both sides. Take what's happening now and even ratchet that up. But there's a
Yeah.
glimmer of hope. They've found a way through, and it's just people having the courage to do that. And as artists, we have to show that. We have to, when someone has finished a book, or someone that you finished, entertaining, or in the theater, you're not going to change the world. But if
Hmm.
you reach one person and you make them think for a moment and look at things a little differently, that's a blessing.
Wow. Yeah, no, it's interesting. See, I do stand up. Sorry, I brought like tears to my eyes a little bit because I would like to see a lot more positivity in the entertainment industry, and I see a lot of negativity, and it's very upsetting because I see people, even um, people I know on a very big level who are full-time entertainers. That's their job. That's how they make their living. Putting out negativity and causing more divisiveness and causing more hatred and causing people to fight with their families and their neighbors. And this is not what we need. And I wrote a health guidebook several years ago. I fell into the acting world. I wasn't like, oh, I want to be an actress. Someone asked me to be in a movie, and then again and again and again, and now I apply to movies. Several years later. But the point is, we need to be an example to create the world that we want. And if you're an actor or any type of person with eyes on you, I feel like you have a huge responsibility to just show people some type of solution. If it's a solution to drink coffee without chemicals and that's all you got, show people that. If it's a way to keep your shoes clean and not get E. coli, in your house, whatever. Anyway,
Yes,
yes, we need more of that. Thank you. Amen. Let's go to the next
yes.
one.
Well,
So,
he who saves a life saves the world, and you do that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I really was excited to interview, and I'm glad I decided to do it even with a fever. So I'm going to switch gears from your novels. You wrote a play, A Black and White Cookie. I saw that it ran at something called Silver Spring Stage. I happen to live in DC for 10 years, Silver Spring, Maryland. I don't know if that's any
yeah.
relevance, but it is Silver Spring, Maryland. Okay, I live there. I taught workout classes there. So you showed a play. I guess I could have gone. How did you learn to create a play? How did you learn to do this?
It was just a different platform for creativity. It's a novel gives you the widest canvas.
Mhm.
If you're going to write a movie, then you're at the mercy of everyone else. But theater is wonderful because it's live. And I mean,
Mm,
it sounds banal to say that, but it's live, and you have
right.
that immediate experience. So yes, a black and white cookie a few years ago premiered at Silver Spring Stage, and now it's three other productions, including in Los Angeles over the summer. It was nominated for 6 Broadway
Yeah.
World Awards, and my newest play is called Dancing on Glass, which takes on anti-Semitism and political bullying in a private school. Talk about
Yeah.
uh, in Brooklyn. Talk about timely, which is makes some people uncomfortable, but that's a political thing. That's like too bad. You fight for what you believe in. And then my latest play is called Walking Charlie, about a widowed business owner and a sassy political refugee who are brought together by a pug dog named Charlie. So
Wow.
but it's about people.
Yeah.
As I say, it's at the end of the day. No one,
Mm.
you can say, oh, you go to a movie and the CGI was cool. Well, no one cares that
Yeah.
there's a 20-minute superhero fight. You care about the people. Those are the
Some
things
people
that linger.
do.
Well, some people, well, not as much as they used to.
Not me.
Hello. Yeah. Sorry.
I've had
Well,
many conversations about like continuity, and as Jerry Seinfeld, I could have sworn I heard him say, "I don't care about continuity either." He doesn't care. He just be funny. Just have a point.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. So we're nearing the ends. We're nearing the ends. Now, what's going to be my final question? You
Throw
know
it at
what?
me. Go ahead. Go for it.
You know what? I'm gonna throw this to you. Anything on your mind that you would like to share with the world, the universe, before we sign off? Anything on your mind?
Yes, to think before you speak and think before you act. And remember that we are in a very hateful situation in the world, and to
Yeah.
be good to other people and to be nice to other people and try to think the good in people. It is so much easier to be positive. It costs the same to be positive as negative, and it's a whole lot healthier for everyone.
Yeah, no, you're totally right. I'm gonna take that, and I'm kind of like my dad and my dog, who's very stubborn, right in front of me. They have the same birthday. You can't tell them what to do, and I don't really like taking advice, but I'm gonna take that as advice, and I'm gonna try to be a little more positive and set forth a more positive example consciously. Which is very funny that you say this on a synchronicity level, because today specifically, I did so many good deeds and
Good.
positive things for people. I was finally well, and I was walking home to do this interview with you, and I was like, "Wow, it's so nice that I was able to actually touch so many lives in a super big way today, really quick." So if you can do that, humans, and touch anyone in a big way, and you're not feeling good, I promise you it'll make you feel better. Just make someone else feel better. That's my final thought. So Gary Morgenstein, thank you so much for being here. Please tell our audience where to find you, social media. Where can we find you?
On Twitter at Writer Gary, and on Instagram and Facebook, I guess by my name. And my books are available at Amazon and Barnes and Noble and your bookstore and wherever fine books are sold.
Beautiful.
Well, hopefully fine books, yes.
So very uplifting guy. If you want some positivity and you like what Gary is saying, feel free to just Google him. You'll see a lot of positive videos as I found them earlier. I found it very uplifting. The voice does carry, I believe this, I've heard this, that the voice carries a vibration of feelings that many people can't even explain at this point. And I think that you bring forth a very positive essence. So keep doing that. That's my one order to you.
I'll
I'm
take it.
giving you orders. I'm giving you orders now. And that's it. So thanks a lot. And back to more. It came from the radio.